Hello everyone, I invite you to this session so that we can have a conversation on what are some of opportunities in terms of career which are in information technology. And when we say of information technology, someone else will say computer science, someone else will say business information technology. All these things almost mean the same thing. For I am Frederick. I have been in the industry, that is technology and cybersecurity, for the last 10 years. And there are some things that I have learned practically, some in the field, and some I have learned them intentionally. And I think it's easier if we are able to share some of these experiences so that we can be able to shorten your learning curve. And today I'm delighted, and I also request you to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that we can be able to build capacity. And as we do this, more people are going to benefit from what we are sharing. So today I wanted to just go through information technology, because fundamentally I took a degree in computer science. And back then we did not have access to mentors who could maybe guide us on what we were supposed to do. So that's why today I feel delighted to be able to share some of these life lessons that I have learned the hard way, so that you don't still repeat the same mistakes that some of us have repeated. So I also manage a company, SecuNet Technologies, which I founded immediately after the university. And of course, I did some mistakes, which maybe we'll have another session for those who are already getting into startups, who already want to get into entrepreneurship. So there are so many things that are hidden that you don't even have an idea. So all you see is that, the charismatic dimension of entrepreneurship, but you really don't understand what goes behind the scene. So today, when we talk of information technology, this is where you leverage on technology, on digital transformations, on computers, on networks, on database, to build a career around information technology, around computer science. And one thing is that computer science is more, you learn more on the principles of computing when compared to information technology, where you can have a session within information technology that is somehow real. But when you go back to the computer science, you do a lot of engineering mathematics. Some of them you don't even have an idea if you'll ever use them. So in this case, I have few nuggets that I can be able to share with you, and some of the opportunities that you can be able to tap into if you are currently in school, and if maybe you are already working. So some of these skills, you can apply them to maybe run your own freelance model. You can also apply them if you want to grow your career and get employment and maybe be promoted. So in this case, we have different opportunities, and one of the opportunities that you'll find in information technology, but you may not study it so much within a university or college environments. Most of these things you learn them in the field by yourself. So the first one is web. So we'll just go through them briefly. And when we talk about web, there are so many things that you can be able to do in web. As a freelance, you can do domain registration. You can provide domain registration to different set of people, business, individuals. You can also do hosting. This is web hosting. For us, this was our first service back in 2009 when we started off. And in the first year, we were able to register about 10 domains. And for each domain, we were lucky then to be able to get a website. So we could maybe charge a domain, let's say hosting and domain, we could charge like 5,000 per year. Then you could charge a website back then, maybe average of that 1,000. So we were able to build about 10 websites, which translate to about 400,000 back then. But this may seem to be a lot of money, but back then, due to mismanagement of cash, you have no experience in entrepreneurship, you acquire an office, you acquire furniture, and then you realize that you don't even require all this. So this is something that you can tap into. So if you need more information, you can be able to request, and I'll be able to share how you can set up platforms which will enable you to register domain. And when you say domain, we have .ke, which is called CCTLD, country code TLD, top level domain. You need a license from KENIC, Kenya Network Information Center. You also need a license from the Communications Authority, which goes for 10,000, and this one goes for 5,000 per year. So these are some of the information that you require. And for you to be given a certificate, I mean a license by the CA, there are some requirements that you also need. A registered business, but it's not a complicated process as long as you have someone to guide you. So in this case, this is a business that you can start, whether you are already in school, whether you have completed, whether you are working, and it's something that you can be able to do on the side as maybe a side hustle. But of course, as it grows, you need now to have full attention of the same business. You'll also get opportunity to do hosting, where you'll also add VPS. So there are so many providers who provides virtual private service. We have data centers in Kenya. We have an example of East Africa data center. So where they allow you to maybe purchase a server and you take into the environment in a process called co-location. Then that server, you can do whatever you want. I think they also manage the security part of it for you within their network. But anything else, it's your responsibility to be able to provide the management of your server. So the other one is you can do SEO. This is search engine optimization. So this is a skill that you can be able to learn and grasp on your own. This is whereby most businesses which already they have online presence, but most customers and potential customers do not know about them. So what you do is that they have a website, they have online presence in social media, they have blogs, but most customers do not find them through those channels. So this is whereby you develop some skills, you develop a skill set around things, then you can be able to advise a business. And the value that you'll give them is that you will increase their online visibility for them, which now will result into a business. So for instance, if a business generates one lead and successfully someone signs up for their services, and then the owner of the business or the leaders in the business realize that this person got us through our website or through our social media accounts or through our blog. So they will also allocate some form of budget into that channel. So this is now you providing such value, and it's a process where you learn. There are tools that are out there. Google has already provided a very good platform for you to start and kickstart this process. All you need is just to read and have that interest to be able to provide this. So this is something that you can be able also to provide for customers. And for a start, how we used to do it, and also how we do it right now is we usually conduct a free assessment, a free SEO assessment. So we request for their website address, then we carry out our own analysis, then you are able to give them scores in terms of PR. This is page ranking. So we are able to tell them between 0 and 8, you start at 2. So for you to really be found by potential customers online, you need to be at least 4. So for you to be at position 4 within the Google bots, you need to increase your budget for social media advertising. intensify your activities and content through your blogs. You need to also do some adverts, publications, all that, to be able to increase your visibility online. So this is something that you can be able to offer within information technology or computer science. And it doesn't matter whether you are still in school or maybe you are still working somewhere. So we'll continue to share more. Of course, there are many other opportunities, but this is what is relevant for most of us, where we need to have maybe an additional stream, income stream, to be able to support our increasing bills and expenses. So the other one is software. So when you come to software, so this is where you use the skill set that you have acquired either in school or on your own. And if you look at the top 10 Forbes magazine, you realize more than 50% are people in the IT and computer science. And these are people who started developing their companies when they were still in school. So there's some magic when you grasp the technology and the technical skills behind software development. So this is where you learn the skills to code, to program, to create some logical sessions for something to be able to do something else. And it takes some time, it takes some energy, but as long as you have some interest, you can be able to learn how to code. And when you code, you can become a developer, where a customer comes, you guide them through the ideation, that is through the idea. You also guide them through the concept until they have a fully fledged software that is running. It's not a must that you wait for a customer to come to you. You can also create your own project that maybe runs on the cloud, and also you push this product to potential customers out there. So this is a skill that anytime you acquire skills in coding and developing of softwares, this is a skill that you'll never forget. Is more of an art and a science, and the more you do it, the more you understand about it. And the best thing is that the first time you understand about the concepts of coding and software engineering and software development, is that any other time that you want to grasp or understand any other language, you'll be in a position to do so, because most softwares and development platforms, they share almost the same concept. You'll find that in almost every language there's aspect of classes, there's aspect of methods, there's aspect of variables, there's aspect of constants. Now we have object-oriented programming. So this is a skill that the moment you acquire this skill, it doesn't matter. You can still be in school, you can also be working, but you are going to use this specific skill to generate an income for you. And within that, nowadays we have a technology called Bring Your Own Language. So this is whereby you have a project, and this project, it doesn't matter whatever language that you use. Someone will use C++, someone will use Java, someone will use PHP for the front end, someone will use JavaScript. So it doesn't matter whatever language you use, as long as you understand the concept and the technical skill behind the language. So we now have Bring Your Own Language. So the more you understand a specific language, the more you become relevant in most of the projects that are already running out there. Actually, currently, the world is running on softwares. So you understand, the moment you grasp this, it is to your advantage. It's almost a lifelong process. You will never say that I have now forgotten to program, unless you change career and you go to something else. Within the softwares, you can also be a quality assurance manager or specialist, where you do not actively do the programming and the coding part of it. What you do is that you reveal whatever has been coded and programmed, then you advise people if this meets specific standards or best practices in terms of exposure of data, and so much that can be done within the quality assurance. there are more opportunities within softwares, but for now, those are the basics. Then we have data, and within data, we have the new skill that has come up, data protection. So you can participate to become an expert to advise customers against cyber crime, against cyber crooks who can be able to target their data and steal it and expose it online. So this is a skill set that you can be able to acquire by yourself. It doesn't matter whether you are still in school or whether you are still maybe working. This is a skill set that you can be able to use to be able to generate an income. You can also be into data science. So this is the new sheriff in town where you can do data analytics. So there's so much data as organizations move towards digital transformation. So they produce and they process a lot of data, but they want to use this data to be able to assist them to make some strategic decisions. Maybe a supermarket wants to know between this and this date what commodity moves very fast, at at what age bracket maybe purchase this product within this timeline of the month. So that one will require someone who has data analytics, and it's within the data science. You can become a data scientist. The other one also, it's still within almost the same, business intelligence. So this is now where I use that data to be able to interface with the business leaders within an organization to assist them make the right decisions within the business. This will promote the growth of the business through the data that you are now advising them. So you have a data analytic, you have a business manager, then you interface in between. So you can be able to get some information from the data analytic experts, then business experts, then you can be able to advise them accordingly. And there are tools that are out there that you can be able to use. Then we have cybersecurity. So in cybersecurity, you have an opportunity to get into digital forensics. So this is where you become an expert when there is a cyber incident, to come and try to investigate and try to see how did these people compromise this organization. And from there is an opportunity of being an expert witness. So you can be able to stand in a court of law and share your testimony, your technical testimony in the court of law. And also you can become a security analyst, where you just get into an organization, you do the analysis, the gap analysis, then you advise them accordingly. Then you can be able to advise them where are they, in terms of between 10 to 20%, 30%, how easier is it for someone to be able to compromise and steal information from their organization. You can become an intelligence officer within cybersecurity, for instance. You can become a CTI officer or a CTI specialist. This is cyber threat intelligence. So this is almost the same way as the normal human intelligence officers, where you can be able to tap into information and data. And you'll work a lot with data analytics specialists, and you'll get information. That information will help you to advise organizations that the new ransomware called XYZ has been targeting circles within the month of July. So in your firewall or in your SIM, can you be able to update a specific tool, or can you be able to do some patching? But you advise them out of information that you already have processed or you have gotten from somewhere. And this you can also be able to know and learn on your own. You can be able to get into this when you are still in school or when you are still working, and it can generate some business for you. And there are tools that you can set up on the internet and on the cloud platform, where you now work with someone within the web to be able to provide the same. So there are many others within the cybersecurity. We have database. So when you come to database, you can become a DBA. A DBA is database administrator. So this is where you actively work in an organization to be able to be the person behind the running of the organization's application systems, the ERP systems, the softwares. So you'll have to work a lot with the software person. You'll have to work a lot with the cybersecurity, because there are aspects of security that you need to understand to be able to set up and configure the database well, so that the organization will not lose data. You'll also have to work a lot with softwares, because someone built a software, but this software must post some information into the database. Sometimes the software developers do not care how to do that. All they need is to access and have access to a database administrator who will guide them through how to open ports, how to push APIs, how to generate tokens, all of those. You can become a database administrator, and there are different type of databases. We have different types and different sets of database. We have MySQL, we have Postgres, we have SQL Server. So they are different, and you can be able to download, set up this in your own machine, and be able to learn on your own. You can also become a quality assurance within the database to make sure that everything has been set up well, to make sure the relationship between different set of databases meets specific standards or specific best practice. And you may not actually be the technical person behind the databases, but for you is to sit down with a DBA, access whatever they are doing. Maybe from there you can be able to generate a report, and you'll be the person presenting the same information to the board of director or the management. As we wind up, we go to the network. So these are some of the opportunities that are out there, the low-hanging fruits. So you can become a network admin. So yours is to make sure you are the person behind the firewall, you are the person behind the router, you are the person advising the network guys, the database guys, the cyber security guys, the software guys. When the servers goes down, they come back to the network admin. So there are some skills that you can learn, and one of it is you have to really understand OSI model, where almost everything in networking is based on this fundamental concept. And also you can become a security expert within networks. So for you, you just specialize in network security, where you advise organizations in terms of what ports need to be opened, which services need to be exposed to the external side. What about the firewall? How does the firewall communicate with the database? How do you open this port? How do you filter this port? How do you there's a lot that you can be able to provide, and you'll be able to work in partnership with almost every other person here. Remember, if the database are not accessible within a network, the first person will access is the network admin to make sure that there is network connectivity. Then if the network connectivity is there, has the database been compromised, we go to the network security guy. There are so many other opportunities within network, but these are the basics that you can learn on your own. And the last one is on the emerging technology. So when we talk of emerging technology, so technology change every day, and you must be able to analyze and know, where do I tap into the opportunities that are coming every day. One challenge with information technology or computer science is a very dynamic field. Today you are relevant with a language called Pascal. Tomorrow you are so irrelevant that you cannot even use that language anywhere. So digital transformation want almost near real-time response. You talk to the server, you speak to the servers, they respond in almost near real-time. All these things require a lot of networks. The databases requires a lot of capacity in terms of memory for processing. Also the same in terms of data. There's so much data that needs to be processed, and this is where now we have something like artificial intelligence, we have machine learning, we have Internet of Things, and we have blockchain, and also any technology that is upcoming for the future. You do not have to learn everything about AI, machine learning, IoT, blockchain. You can just pick one, then see how relevant it is and the potential it has to still remain relevant for the next 10 years. Then you start learning the concepts, you start understanding the behind the scenes about that technology, how it's going to be adopted, Is it going to be adopted by a specific segment of organizations or people? Is it about mass adoption? Then you go with whatever your heart likes. From there, you have to learn technical skills about this. So I think we are done for today's session. We'll have other sessions equally, so that we'll go through each and every area within the technology. And this is not so exhaustive. We have many other opportunities within technology. We have GSM, we have other technology, we have mobile. There are so many, but what I have shared is something that you can be able to learn on your own. And it doesn't matter whether you are in school, it doesn't matter whether you are still working, you can still use the same to be able to generate an income, either as a side hustle, or you can be able to tap into any of these technologies and start something on your own. So with that, thank you very much for the session, and we look forward into sharing more. So this is my blog. It has been running for the last, I think now, from 2012, where I do share some of this knowledge. You can also start building your own blog, and you start sharing your own information there. So you can follow it at frederick.me.ke. Also remember to share the YouTube channel, so that many people can continue to benefit from this knowledge. And with that, thank you very much for following, and I wish you all